There. All right, we're officially have pressed record
Yeah,
for our first official episode of our podcast, Couples Connected. I'm Paige,
I'm Rob.
and we had this idea to create this podcast a few months back, but life is busy, life is crazy, and we just haven't pressed record. But this last week, we've been really getting this really strong push to just hit record. Just do it, just get it started. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be scripted, just do it. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to talk about what our podcast is about, what to expect, and then we'll start creating more along the way. So, you want to talk about what it's about?
Yeah, so we're going to be covering a range of topics. We're going to be covering spirituality, what it is to have a family, to be a couple, and to be single as individuals trying to work through this a process of awakening and becoming bigger, brighter versions of ourselves and growing along the way, returning to who we know we are.
Yeah, so this is a journey that Rob and I have been on. Rob and I have been married 14 and a half years now, together for 18 plus. Those fun on again, off again teenage crap, which we might touch on. We might go back to that and talk about how we had to heal those wounds too. But yeah, so 14 and a half years married. We have 3 kids, almost 17 next week, 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. When we first got together, we were not on this path. This path didn't hit us, or the awakening, quote, if you can't see me, but quote unquote, the awakening process started happening to us about 10 years ago. And it's kind of been a whirlwind ever since. So that's kind of what we're wanting to touch on and talk about in this podcast, how going through that process as individuals and then trying to figure it out as a couple and then trying to figure it out as you're trying to raise children all in different age groups, how that process felt, how that process looked, what modalities helped us, what rituals helped us, what different ceremonies helped us, what different habits and practices. So that's where we wanted to talk about, talking about the differences of going through this process of this journey as a female and as a male.
Yes.
Because that's 2 very different processes as well.
Yeah. Talking about things that are kept in, not talked about, how men or a woman feels, their internal struggles, how they perceive the world, and how they try and bring it into creation.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about the highs and lows. We've been through a multitude of things. We'll try and bring those experiences and try and heal them as we talk about them with you guys, create an inner healing and release what no longer serves us and helps us to catapult forward.
Yeah, exactly. So that is what our episode is going to be about. Sometimes it might be just Rob talking. Sometimes it might just be me. Sometimes we might bring on different teachers or mentors or facilitators that have crossed our path, or different teachers, facilitators that we're interested in, that we want to learn more about. So we're hoping to bring you along on this journey with us. And so we can talk about what the ups and downs, challenges and wins that we've kind of gone over and through the last few years. We definitely haven't been afraid to make the big jumps and leaps. They have worked out in some ways and haven't worked out in others. So we'll talk about those too, but yet how, even if they didn't work out, it really hasn't stopped us or held us back from following that next big leap, that next big jump. Because like Rob was saying, we are on this journey to come back to ourselves. And the only way we have to do that is to keep pushing forward, even though it's scary as fuck sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There may be major stepping stones that you're trying to work through, or vows or contracts that show up in your life and you don't know how to work through it, and it'll keep on showing up until you figure it out and find a way to put it in your past. So hopefully we can try and help with a few tools which you can use to try and break through the barrier, the glass ceiling, and to move into your highest potential.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to be an open book. Everything that we've gone through, everything, like I said, the challenges and the wins, but we're going to be an open book with how some of those challenges didn't work out, but how pushing through changed us in amazing and big expansive ways at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is about what covers what Couples Connected is going to be all about. Anything you want to add before we wrap up? Just this slight little introduction.
Yeah, so if you want to give us feedback on what resonates, what doesn't resonate with you guys, we can also try and incorporate that into our podcast to help heal people on this journey that we're all into this together with.
Yeah, that's perfect. And some of you who are listening might already know big chunks of our journey, because again, we don't hide it. It's always been on our social media, and we've always told people what we're doing next. But yeah, if you already know some chunks of our journey and you're like, I want to know about this, or how did you think to do this, or yeah, I remember when you guys crashed and burned there. How'd that feel? So ask all those questions, and that will kind of help us kind of know what different episodes we can start putting out and what we can focus on. So, yeah, so that's basically in a nutshell what Couples Connected is going to be about. We hope that you will come on this journey with us as we talk about how we've navigated so far and how we're continuing to navigate this journey as individuals, as a couple, and as mom and dad, as a family unit. Because there's definitely a lot to talk about in that perspective way as well, because our family unit has shifted and changed as well in the last few months. So yeah, anything else to wrap it up?
Yeah, I just like to thank everybody for tuning in as we keep talking and using this platform as medicine to heal ourselves and to become bigger, better versions of ourselves, and to just experience life with gratitude and hope and joy, releasing all negative fears, guilt, shame, and know that even though something may have not worked out in your life, it's okay. It's just feedback, just telling you what you need to work on, helping you become better than you've ever been before. Thank you, and stay tuned.